Hey everyone, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2024 Chevy Equinox, we're going to be checking out the etrailer.com SD tow bar. Right off the bat, a lot of people ask, what are the main parts that I'm going to even need to flat tow my Equinox down the road in the first place? And there's a total of 5 major components. You'll have your base plate, your tow bar, your safety cables, your tow bar wiring, and your supplemental braking system. And with the Equinox 2, there's a couple other parts I like to recommend as well. One of them being a battery charge line kit, as well as an automatic battery disconnect switch. When it comes to picking out a tow bar, it's a really important decision, because it's responsible for a lot of work. It's going to be that connection point that connects the back of your motorhome to the front of your vehicle that you're pulling behind it. And so you want something that you can rely on, and that's got to pull your vehicle well and be easy to use, figure out, and things like that. And with this setup here, it's going to check all those boxes, and it's a great choice as far as what you're going to get. You get a lot of bang for your buck with this setup. We'll start with how's it going to pull your vehicle down the road, and had a lot of good feedback from this tow bar, and I think it's partly due to the fact that it's relatively long. And generally speaking, the more distance you have between your RV and the front of your vehicle, the better. And it has the arms here, which are going to pivot independently. And so all that just kind of makes for a really responsive setup, when you're going around tight turns or trying to, make your way through the gas station around pumps and things like that. The vehicle's going to stay true and follow right behind your coach. And it's also relatively heavy duty. It's going to have a 6,000 pound weight capacity, which is more than enough in a lot of people's situations. If you're looking for something else or something that's even overbuilt, there is a extra heavy duty version of this one available too. And I believe that one is a 10,500, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely up there, but for the vast majority of people out there, this is going to be a great choice. And having that little bit higher 6,000 pound capacity, my thought would be it should help kind of absorb some of the road shock and potholes and things like that. The really cool thing with these eTrailer tow bars is how versatile they are. So there's a bunch of these that have different types of ends on them, allowing you to pair them up with different types of base plates. So these ends that we're looking at here today, they'll work with Blue Ox base plates as well as Kurt base plates, and even we have a Dimco base plate on our vehicle today. The owner of this already had these ends on here, and we're still able to line them right up and pair everything together. As far as the ease of use and things like that, it's pretty straightforward. With pretty much every single different type of end out there, you're going to have an extremely similar setup. Usually a pin and clip deal that you pull out like this one. Do the opposite whenever you're ready to hook everything up. And this tow bar is relatively lightweight. It's not the lightest one out there nor the heaviest. So, not too bad there as far as that goes. And something that I always like to recommend, whether you go with this tow bar or a completely different one, is to make sure to get one that is a non-binding type, okay, which the eTrailer SD is. So more or less what that means, a lot of times what can happen when you're pulling your vehicle behind your coach, you get to where you're going, you try to disconnect and pull these pins, the arms can be in a bind, because they lock into position. It can be extremely tight and difficult to get everything taken apart. Well, with a non-binding type like this one, if that were to happen, you have these little levers here. You push those down, it'll release that tension and make it easier for everything to come apart. And just a word of advice too, I guess while we're talking about these, if you do end up going with any of the trailer tow bars, when you hook it up, make sure that these little levers are on the inside, like we have them here today. If not, you do it the other way around. What can happen is stuff can kind of get hung up in here and bend this little plate here. So just something to think about and a good habit to get into whenever you do hook up to your vehicle. I talked about getting a lot of bang for your buck, and there's a few reasons I say that. Some of the extras that you're going to get with a tow bar. All right, one of them being safety cables. So these will come included. I think it's really convenient because they're already set up for you. You know that they're going to be the right length, capacity, type, so on and so forth. So when you're setting up a flat tow, things get overwhelming, you know, having these already, it's just one less thing you're not going to have to worry about picking up separately. And over here on this side, we have this little rod that comes out, and this is a cable management system. So what you can do, you know, I recommend using coiled type tow bar wiring with this. You can put that over the rod there, and that'll keep everything a little more organized and keep this stuff up off the ground out of harm's way. It also has a built-in high-low adapter, for lack of a better term, meaning where you plug this into the hitch, you can either have it set in the drop position, or you could take it apart, put it in the rise, which is much less common. But right out of the box, it comes with that, and it's 1.5 inches either way, up or down. And it's extremely common to have to use a high-low adapter in a lot of scenarios, because the motorhome's hitch is usually going to be up a lot higher than your vehicle's attachment points, right? And generally speaking, you don't want a difference of greater than 3 inches between the two vehicles. You know, so you'd set everything up like this, measure the hitch height on your motorhome, measure the attachment points on the front of your vehicle. If that's greater than 3, that's when you would need an additional high-low adapter. So, for example, let's say more or less that having this built in allowed us to not have to use an additional high-low adapter, right? Because with this in the drop position, it dropped it down to that acceptable range, and we could just plug it directly into the motorhome's hitch. You are able to store the tow bar on the back of your coach whenever you're not hooked up to your vehicle, and you can do this either temporarily or permanently for that matter. With this setup too, it's kind of nice because you can store both arms together on either side, or I kind of like doing it like this, and it's kind of ready for you to go when you go to hook back up, but it's entirely up to you. Now with that said, something I do like to recommend, especially for those of you that plan on keeping this back here permanently, would be to check out a locking hitch pin. That way it'll be 100% secured to your hitch, and someone just can't pull the pin and clip out and take off with it, as well as a bag or some sort of cover just to help protect your investment. Other than that, that's really all there is to it. You know, it's excellent how versatile it is. Great middle of the road tow bar. It'll work out for a lot of people setting up their flat tows. And a tow bar you can't really go wrong with, to be honest. If you're looking for something else even, or just want to check out, see what else is going on, or looking for something a little more premier, the Roadmaster Nighthawk tow bar is awesome. I'm a big fan of that one. It's real lightweight. The Blue Ox Avail, kind of same deal there, really well made. And just wanted to give you a couple other options if you want to see what's out there. But ultimately, you know, with the etrailer.com SD, it'll work out for you. It's one you can rely on and get you down the road safely. And that'll finish up our look at of the etrailer.com SD tow bar on our 2024 Chevrolet Equinox.